Hi there, students. How is everyone doing today? I hope you are ready to learn. Today, you need your notebooks, pens, and pencils for class. Today's objectives are: what is a family? Then, you'll be defining the terms and concepts associated with family, and there is a list of the terms. Before we go right into it, we need to know what is a family. A simple definition for the term family is a group of people living together under one roof related by blood, marriage, or adoption. Next, we have terms relating to family relationship. So my approach is to divide these terms into simple subheadings so we can understand the concepts better. So the first set of concepts are related to family relationships. The first term is kinship. Kinship is having family ties through blood or marriage. Then we have types of kinship. We have a consanguine family where we describe as the original family, as members are related by blood. So kinship is having family ties through blood or marriage, but a type of kinship is consanguine family where the family members are related only through blood. Then we have conjugal family. Remember, a consanguine family is related through only blood. Now, what do you think a conjugal family is? Yes, related through only marriage. Status. Status is the position or rank of someone in a family. So whether or not you are a husband, a father, a brother, a sister, who are you in the family? What is your rank in the family? And we are going to go more in depth with the term status when we're looking on family relationships. Then we have incest. It is having intimate or sexual relations with a close family member. And in Jamaican terms, we say family ram. The correct term in social studies is incest. The terms relating to marriage practices. The first term is monogamy. Monogamy is marriage uniting one woman and one man. And this is the marriage that we practice in Jamaica and the Caribbean on a whole. So monogamy is when one man and one woman married to each other. Then we have polygamy. Polygamy is a generalized term which means marriage between two or more persons. Alright, more than two persons. So in places like Africa and so on, where you have people married to three persons, you see it on social media sometimes. Oh, this man has three wives, this woman has two husbands, and so on. It is described as polygamy. We have different types of polygamy. We have the type called polygyny, where a male would marry two or more females. We have polyandry now, where a female or a woman would get married to two or more males. Then we have the practice of endogamy. Endogamy is when one marries someone within one social group or tribe. So in Africa, if I'm from the Igbo tribe and I get married to someone from the Igbo tribe, I am practicing endogamy. Or let's use Jamaican terms. If I am rich and I get married to someone who is rich too, then I'm practicing endogamy in the same social group. Then we have exogamy, where one marries someone outside one social group. So you go outside to marry. We see this in Jamaican, like in the churches, where one is a Sabbath keeper and one is a Sunday worshipper. Then it is exogamy, and they say, oh, they cannot get married. But a lot of people practice exogamy. They don't care about the person's social group, they get married to them. The next terms are related to marriage issues because if we have marriage, we're going to have issues. So the first term is divorce. And divorce is the legal dissolution of an officially recognized marriage or the legal ending of a officially recognized marriage. So we need to include the term legal, and divorce ends a marriage, so it is the legal ending of a marriage. Then we have legal separation. This is different from divorce because it is the court allowing partners to live apart while sorting out marital relationship, so they can get back together, or it can end up in a divorce. But legal separation is different because they are just living in different households. Desertion is a situation where one spouse abandons the other. So if a husband runs away and leave the wife and don't care about them, don't contact them, that would be called desertion. And it's the same thing if a wife does it. Or annulment. Annulment is a declaration by the court that a marriage is invalid, so it is made null and void. Annulment would be different from divorce because you can find records of a divorce and you get a divorce certificate and all. Annulment makes the marriage seem as if, oh, it had never happened. It is made null and void. Alright, so you use back the term null that is in the word annulment to define it. Alimony is money payable to a spouse after divorce, and it is a form of maintenance, so the spouse can take care of themselves. So alimony is normally paid by a husband to a wife. It is usually. Alright, bigamy. Bigamy is the crime of marrying while still legally married to another in a society where they practice monogamy. Let's look back on the terms related to marriage practices before we go right into bigamy. Monogamy is marriage uniting one man and one woman. This is practiced in the Caribbean, as I said earlier, but we have polygamy, which is practiced in places like Africa and India. These persons get married to more than two persons, where you see chiefs and bigger heads in the African communities. They have up to 5 wives. But in the Caribbean, can this happen? No. So, in the Caribbean, we would call it bigamy. So, if you get married to more than 2 persons, it is a crime. So, it is a crime of marrying while still legally married to another in a society where they practice monogamy. So, in the Caribbean, we practice monogamy. So, marrying 2 persons, so marrying another person and you don't divorce the first person would end up being bigamy. Let's now look on the terms related to descent and inheritance. Inheritance would be property or assets passed at an owner's death by a will or a country's law. So inheritance in Jamaican term, dead left money, dead left house, all of them something they were family member fight over. So inheritance would be property or assets. Alright, so when a person dies, they might leave a will and say this should get this or that should get that. In a case where they don't leave a will, then the country's law would dictate what would happen to the person's property or their assets. Alright, so normally it would be given to the children or a spouse if they are married, their parent, and the closest family member to them. We have patrilineal. When we're looking on family terms, the term starting with pa would mean father. And of course, the term starting with ma would mean mother. Patrilineal is the line of descent in a family is traced through the father's side of family, while matrilineal would mean that the line of descent is traced through the mother's side of family. We also have bilineal. Bi means two. Therefore, bilineal would mean the line of descent is traced through both sides of an individual family equally. Let's look on the heads of family. Remember, we say pa, we may remember father. We say ma, mother. Patrilineal, patriarchal is where the father heads the household and there is no permanent mother figure. So where the father is the main breadwinner, he makes the decisions, and there's no permanent mother figure living in the household, then that would be a patriarchal family. In a matriarchal family, the mother would head the household and there's no permanent father figure. So everybody is mommy, mommy. So mommy makes all the decisions, pays all the bills, and do almost everything. Patterns of residence. Patrilocal. Remember pa, father, and lo mean locate. The local would mean locate. Therefore, patrilocal is a situation where a married couple would live with the husband's sides of family. So can you guess what matrilocal is without looking on the definition? Of course, it's a situation where a married couple would live with the wife's family. Neo would mean new. Therefore, neolocal is where a married couple lives at their own place of residence. After looking under those terms and definitions, we need to take them into practice. Let's look on the CSEC past paper from 2017. The first term they ask to define is monogamy. Remember, mono means one. So monogamy is marriage to one person, a man and a woman getting married. So let's look back on the term if our definition is correct. Monogamy is marriage uniting one man and one woman. Alright. Define the term marriage. A marriage is the legal binding of a man and woman, and this is usually done by a religious ceremony. That's a definition for marriage. Name two forms of marriage. And remember, that is why it's important to break down these terms into little subheadings so we know the marriage practices would be the forms of marriage. So we have monogamy, polygamy, polygyny, polyandry, endogamy, and exogamy, which are the forms of marriage. And you can just jot down beside your answer what these terms mean if you want to be sure. But it's worth 2 marks and it says name two forms of marriage. So you would write two forms of marriages are monogamy and polygamy. Monogamy means marriage uniting one man to one woman, and polygamy is having 2 or more spouses. Define the following terms: matrilocal, matrilineal. All you need to do, look back on the terms. Ma mean mother, local mean locate. Where the married couple lives with the wife's side of family. Matrilineal is where the line of descent is traced through the mother's side of family. Let's now look on some multiple choice questions. These should be quite easy for you. The first question is, which statement best describes a conjugal family? My approach towards answering this question is that you answer them before you look on the multiple choice question. So what is the key key term that we're looking for. Conjugal. So let's look back on the term conjugal. And conjugal is family that has been created through marriage. So we're looking for the key term, marriage. A is one or both parents may be absent from the home. B, offsprings have become adults and have left the home. C, family relationship is developed through marriage. D, family relationship is developed through bloodlines. And it's, of course, C, where family relationship is developed through marriage. We see D is there to confuse us with consanguine family, where family relationship is developed through the blood. Maxine Lewis lives with her unmarried mother and father. The relationship between her parents can be best described as. So we have to look on the family term, which is related to unmarried. So friendly could not be it because it's not a family term. Conjugal, we have common law, and compassionate could not be the answer as it's not a family term. So we have conjugal and common law. Even though we didn't look on common law, let me explain common law at this time. So common law, as it suggests, it's the most common type of union within the Caribbean. And I'm going to go more into unions. Common law is where a man and a woman lives and they're not married. They usually live at the same residence for a period of years. Alright, so that's a common law relationship. So that would be the answer. So it's B. The term kinship implies close friendship, blood relationship, members of the same ethnic group, members of the same organization. So it would have to be blood relationship because kinship would mean related by blood or marriage. The term polyandry is used to describe a situation which remember, polyandry is a form of marriage, but is it related? It's related to marriage with whom? We need to look back on the terms. Marriage practices. Polyandry is marriage uniting one female and two or more males. So remember, one female and two or more males. So A, man has more than one wife. No. B, woman has more than one child. We're not looking on children. We're looking on marriages. Woman has more than one husband at the same time. Therefore, C would be the answer. The next questions are coming from the 2014 past paper. Which of the following is not a form of marriage? We have monogamy, polygamy, polyandry, and matriarchy. We know that monogamy is marriage with one spouse, one man and one woman. Polygamy, yes, it's a form of marriage because it is more than one spouse. Polyandry, we just did it in the previous question. So it is a form of marriage where a woman takes on more than one husband. So matriarchy would be the correct answer. It is not a form of marriage. A newly married couple resides with the husband's father. Under the father's traditional authority, the situation may be described as, so we need to look on the term that has to do with father first of all, and the father under the father's traditional authority. So where the father is the main authority. So we have patriarchal, patrilineal, paternalistic, and polygamous. Polygamous would be out of the picture. Therefore, we are left with A, B, and C. It could not be paternalistic because it's not a family term. So we are left with patriarchal and patrilineal. Patrilineal is line of descent passed through the families, through the father side of family. And patriarchal is the living situation where the father holds traditional authority. Therefore, A is the answer. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can go ahead and go back to play if you did not understand something. And please remember to write down the questions, practice these questions, take your notes, and ask questions in the comment section. If you're not comfortable with something, or if you don't understand something, you can ask me. We'll get better as we go along.